It's only got 70,000 miles
10
on it.
minutes maybe if you drive like old lady. I mean like my dad. Hour if I'm driving.
All right, Jeanne.
Less.
Your full name?
Jeannie Ellen Cerie Norgaard.
Ellen, L-L-E-N.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And were you named after someone?
Oh, I have to think about that. No, I don't think so.
And your birthday?
January 7th, 1950.
She's a lot older than I am. She asked me how old I was. I said I was 39.
You're just not truthful like I am.
And Cerie is S-E-R-I-E? Okay. And tell me about the jobs that you've held throughout your life.
I did a lot of babysitting, of course. Everybody did in those days. That's really what I did until I was 16. Then I started working at the nursing home in Tyler, and I was kitchen help. And I really did like that compared to working upstairs with the patients. My sister was a nurse or a nurse's aide upstairs, so then I could, just work with the food and have to serve them, and that was, I didn't mind doing that at all. We would get to visit with some of them. There were like probably a dozen that would come down to eat because we were in the basement. It was a pretty good job. I really had some good friends that I worked with, older ladies. When you first work with older people, you think, oh, what a drag this is going to be, but you just find out there's so many neat people out there.
How long did you work there?
3 years, I think, through my junior year and senior year, and then my freshman year of college, I came home on weekends. So.
And then what did you do after that for jobs?
Then I did not have a job except at the school. I worked at the college. I had a work study that I would put in like 20 hours a week until we got married, and then I think I didn't even have a part-time job then because I was so busy working on the farm. Actually, not on the farm, but just doing the housework and stuff along with my school work.
Where did you go to school?
I went to SSU in Marshall. Graduated in 1970. No, 72. I'm sorry.
72.
We were married in 70, graduated in 72.
And I should get your wedding date. When was that?
Oh, October 3rd, 1970. Actually, yeah. Did we move here? I graduated in 72. I got through with school in March. We were on semesters then, and so I got through in March, and then
We moved here in the spring.
we moved here in May. So from the time I graduated, then I actually spent every day working over at Gordy and Elvira's house. Because they were remodeling that house so they could move.
It was another time when Jeannie got just a little bit fired up because we were moving Mom and Dad over to the Newell farm. And we had everybody here to help, so they thought, well, we just well move you guys too. So we just went over to Johnson Brothers Farm and all loaded up our stuff. And
I was smoking, just smoking mad.
You weren't around?
Well, he didn't even give me, I didn't pack. You know how you want to put things at least all together? And sure, it doesn't matter. To them, it didn't matter. I was going 2 miles. What difference did it make? They just threw stuff in. I walked in this house, I just screamed. Guys just don't have any respect for things. We really were.
It was a bit stressful.
That was very stressful. I was very upset.
She was. Mattered hell.
It was just like, you go into a room and you just pick up a pile of shit and you put it all in one pile of shit. And nothing was separated or sorted or packed in boxes or...
No.
Do you remember that? You would have been helping, I'm sure. He was probably... I'm sure he wasn't the dirty dog because he likes neat things, and Craig just didn't think it mattered.
We got it done.
I should have been forewarned. I know the other reason I was really mad is because I wanted about 2 weeks
Cleaning.
to clean the house. And you can appreciate that too. I had no chance.
Yeah. That was wrong.
So much harder to do once you got everything in there.
I agree. That was pretty tough.
And we weren't being pressured out of there that I remember.
No, we weren't. It was take advantage of all the help is what it was.
Tell me how and when you first met each other.
Well, we met when I was in 7th grade, and so was he. We were on the school bus. And I don't know a specific time other than I just know, I remember that mean Craig Norgaard on the bus. He was just absolutely, he did not have a good reputation.
Hard to believe.
Oh, I was like, stay away from Craig Norgaard. Do not sit by him and do not have anything to do with him. And I do remember that even in school, you just weren't a good influence. It was like if you were in the same room, you might get into trouble because he was there. So that's kind of how it was. He spent time in the principal's office.
When we in the principal, we got
He was
along
not
pretty
a
good.
he was not a good, respectable person to hang out with, so I didn't, and I didn't like him at all, and he was nasty to me, because I was the new girl, and
I just-
specifically, I can't remember other things that you did to me, but I know you picked on me verbally, but the one thing he did physically was he got a pile of snow one day and mashed it on my back. That's the one thing I remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And I came home and cried to my mother about things that Craig Norgaard had said or done, and so when I think I was 17. When I was 17 and he asked me out, or we ended up going on a date, our first date, my mother just went, "Why would you want to spend any time with him?" And I said, "I don't really know, Mom. We just have this plan. We're gonna go to a show tonight or something." And I really don't know. I was kind of amazed too that you asked me out.
Didn't your brothers kind of give you some grief too?
Oh, my brothers gave me a lot of grief. See, because Keith, is only 2 years younger than I am, so he knew Craig as well as I did, and he didn't like him either.
No, it wasn't him. It was Jerry.
No, Keith didn't get along with you either, though, at that time.
Yeah,
Of course, he was
we
little.
always got along good.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Jerry.
Well, Jerry wasn't around you. Jerry knows nothing about you. He only heard through us.
Okay.
Because Jerry only went to school here less than a year.
Okay.
He might have an inkling because he met you or saw you on the bus, but anyway.
So you got serious.
So then we went together my senior year. And then by that time, Craig had been retained in 7th grade, actually. When I first got here, he was in 7th grade with me. That's how it was, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then the next year you didn't go on?
I guess so.
I think so. So then he was a year behind me. And yeah, then we were dating until I was a sophomore in college. Well, we had a little breakup in there, so we had some time apart, which was a good time.
to appreciate each other.
Yes. Or whatever.
Seemed good at the time.
We just needed some space. We needed to look at it from a distance.
Yeah.
So then, when you said you were going to get married to your folks, how did they respond?
I think at that time they probably were okay with it.
Oh yeah, they started liking me.
After we graduated, I
Oh
think.
yeah. Oh yeah. I got.
Well, actually, maybe not. That's not exactly true, because then when we broke up,
Oh yeah, then I was a jerk.
then
yeah.
so
Oh,
the
yeah.
last year that we dated, we got together in February. He came over and begged forgiveness, and
I was down on a knee.
he was absolutely. He will
Oh, yeah.
admit that he was down on his knees,
Yeah.
and he begged for forgiveness, and we got back together in February, and we were engaged in June, and we said we were going to wait a year, and then we didn't because Craig got this farm to rent, and he says, "Well, we just have to get married so I can live over there." What I didn't know at the time was he really wanted a housekeeper, and he could have just as well started out on his own, because I was in school and it was really hard.
Yeah, that
Very
was,
difficult.
That was unfair.
But I did it. I just sucked right in there. Okay.
Dad?
She's had it pretty good ever since.
So, what were the dates?
you're lucky
The
now.
dates that your children were born then?
Jamie was born February 10th, 1976. Michael was born January 18th, 1979.
Good coffee.
And Christina was born May 23rd, 1983.
Tell me about the first time you remember meeting his parents. Do you remember anything in particular early on?
I don't even remember the first meeting. there's one time I can remember, and that's going to your grandparents, or going to your grandmother's house for Easter. And that was when I was a senior in high school, but I would have met your parents before that, and I don't know when that was. I really don't remember. I suppose coming here.
Grandma just loved Jeannie.
She was so wonderful because, I mean, first of all, I had never had a grandmother, ever. My mother's mother died when she was like 20, and my dad's mother died when he was 5.
Yeah.
So I never had one,
Okay.
and I just loved her to pieces.
This is Grandma Norgaard or
Grandma
Grandma?
Elvin.
Grandma Elvin.
Grandma Norgaard was already dead. So I really liked her a lot. But I only got to know her for 3 years then. I suppose maybe 4 counting the time we were engaged
Yeah.
and stuff, but. No, I don't remember meeting Craig's folks initially at all, and, I think, I don't know, I think I was kinda quiet around him when I first met him.
I think I was around your folks too.
Yeah, you probably had to be.
What do you enjoy doing?
Today? Oh, I guess I enjoy reading a lot, more than I used to, because when you've got little kids, you can't do that. I guess I enjoy spending a lot of time with my family. I probably do spend a lot of hours a week on that, with my folks being right here.